I remember clearly the date of April 4th, 1968, because it was a few days before my 14th birthday. So instead of being a time of celebration, in our household, we're very worried about what was going to happen to the country and, who would lead African Americans and others into a new generation of freedom that we were all anticipating. I was very touched by what happened. Around the country, when Dr. King was assassinated, obviously some cities went up in flames. Key public figures came out to speak to try and calm people down, to give people a sense of hope. Obviously, there was a lot of hopelessness. People were crying. My parents were upset, wondering what it meant. There were people who were going out trying to get arms. People were worried about whether or not they should leave the country. It was a very tense couple of weeks. And I think in a lot of ways, when the funeral was held, it was televised nationally. The tone that was set, I think, by Mrs. King and people who spoke at his funeral did a lot to give people a sense that there was a way forward. It wasn't clear, but there were calm heads, and I think a real sense that somehow it would be difficult, but we get through this. I think it was a seminal moment for me because it made me focus a lot more on things that I, as a young black kid, did not have. It really made me a lot more aware of politics, a lot of the remembrances of Dr. King's life and what he struggled for, how he started and how far he came. Did a lot to inspire not just me, but I think a whole generation of other people of all colors, all faiths, all walks of life. Dr. King was the most inspirational figure in my lifetime. Not just for me, but for people around the world. That speech, even for people who did not speak English, has really become a rallying cry for people in liberation efforts all around the world. I think a lot of it is the resonance, the tone. You can feel what Dr. King was really trying to tap in our souls in that I Have a Dream speech, and many of his other speeches, some of which don't get as much attention, but I've listened to some of those speeches where he would go and speak to the national audience on every Sunday morning when he would preach at Ebenezer Baptist Church. And quite an inspirational speaker in the way he could weave together so many things. And he could go so high with soaring rhetoric and then bring it down to a level where even the poorest and most common person in the world could relate to it. Is a remarkable talent. I mean, truly a gift from God, and one that he had and used very effectively. His speech was his sword, and his pulpit was a mighty instrument for bringing about change, and it is still used to bring about change. When you listen to one of Dr. King's speeches, or you read one of his brilliant sermons, you look around at the world today, and everything he wrote could have been written yesterday. Dr. King saw the great threat that inequality and injustice truly pose to our people, our nation, and our souls. People are still struggling and still have work to do. We have to keep fighting for Dr. King's vision of a beloved community, a peaceful world where all people have economic opportunity, good jobs, quality education, affordable housing, and a safe, clean environment. We have to make investments where communities have been neglected, and we have to fight for the rights of dignity for all people to be recognized. I really do believe that the vision Dr. King saw from the mountaintop is real, that it's in our reach. Dr. King pointed the way. It's up to us to get there. That means we've got a lot of climbing to do, and we have to get it done together.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.